Hello everyone, welcome to sqadia.com. Today we are discussing membrane structure and function, and this particular section focuses on the structure of plasma membrane. We are going to take off with the discussion of at a very basic level, and we are going to study what is the physical component that plays a very important function in the process of cell signaling and in the transmission of communication within the cell and to the cell within the neighboring tissues and to the extracellular tissues, of course, as well. So we are going to start off with the discussion of lipid bilayer, and we are going to see its structure. We are going to see the heads and the tails, and we are going to see which of them is hydrophilic, which of them is hydrophobic, and then we are going to jump to towards the structure of the phospholipid, and we of course are going to understand the structure basis of lipid raft, which is being synthesized when there is an accumulation of the lipids with the carrier proteins, which basically increases the thickness at that particular portion of the cell membrane. Right, and this would be followed by the discussion of glycolipids. So let's get started. So it's a well-known fact that a plasma membrane is composed of lipid bilayers that consists of many different entities within it that plays critical function towards the normal physiological conditions of the plasma membrane to perform its normal functions. So we'll start off with these phospholipids. What happens in this particular case, they have the hydrophilic groups in the tail, in the head region, but they are hydrophobic groups in the tail regions, and this is considered as the outer surface of the cell, and this is the inner surface of the cell. So we have over here a phospholipid molecule with a moiety, which basically have the hydrophilic, that means that water attracting group. Over here you can see the hydrophobic groups, hydrophobic tails. This means that they have a phobia of water. What it means is they are going to repel water. They are not going to attract that particular water. Over here you can see the integral membrane protein that can also be termed as a transmembrane protein. Now it's important to consider that a transmembrane protein, as the name indicates, passes through the protein, it passes through the plasma membrane that has its portions within the cell and it has its portion outside the cell as well. And we have studied numerous amount of plasma protein, transmembrane proteins in the cell signaling, cell cycle regulations part, and then over here we are going to jump into the discussion of its internal structure and of how they are being catered. Now, moving on towards the lipid bilayer. Over here, of course, we are going to start off with we have discussed the phospholipid head. Over here, we have the carbohydrate group of a glycoprotein. So glycoprotein contains a glycogen or a carbohydrate with a protein. So its combination is basically termed as glycoprotein, of course. This would be followed, of course, it has been integrated within the plasma membrane. It performs many different functions that plays an important functions for the cell signaling part, of course, as well. Now we have over here the peripheral proteins. Now peripheral proteins, as the name indicates, are towards the periphery, towards the margin of the plasma membrane, and they are loosely attached to the integral proteins, of course. Now we have an independent carbohydrate moiety known as the glycolipid, which of course has been linked with a lipid. So a lipid molecule carrying a carbohydrate group is termed as glycolipid. Similarly, that we discussed, a glycogen, a carbohydrate which is attached to the protein is known as the glycoprotein portions. Now we have membrane spanning integral protein that are tightly bound to the membrane, and that is because of the covalent bonding. Of course, these proteins have both the hydrophobic residues and the hydrophilic residues, and over here when this particular portion is being discussed, it's of course considered that these proteins that are basically facing the hydrophobic tail portions, they have at their boundaries the hydrophobic amino acid residues, so that there is no repulsion and they can stick together in the covalent bonding. And the head contains where there is the environment of the hydrophilic heads above it and below it. Of course, at this particular portion, these integral membrane proteins have hydrophilic amino acid residues. Now we have the intracellular surface of the membrane over here, which can be seen, and here the membrane splits into layers in freeze fracture. That is being shown under the electron microscopy, of course. Now we have over here the cholesterol molecules that basically insert themselves into a lipid bilayer, and they play a critical function in the normal establishment of the physiology of the plasma membrane. And of course, the phospholipid heads, they face in this particular respect that their aqueous intracellular and the extracellular compartments are in equilibrium with the hydrophobic and the hydrophilic portions of the phospholipids, of course, as well. So over here, we are going to study the structure of the phospholipid. Now, of course, generally that has been divided into two major portions that we have discussed in the beginning of this particular section as well. So of course, it has a polar hydrophilic head group as shown over here. And of course, it has a non-polar or hydrophobic tails. Now, talking about the polar hydrophilic head, it is composed of number one choline molecule, which has been connected with the glycerol through a phosphate group. And as shown over here, this is a choline group which has an association of the phosphate that basically serve as a linkage between the choline and the glycerol, and here is the glycerol molecule. Talking about the non-polar portions, we have over here a fatty acid, long chain of the fatty acid, and this particular band is because of the presence of a double bond which basically allows it in a particular orientation. That plays an important part in the establishment of the membrane structure and integrity. Now over here, these are the different types of the phospholipid. We have a phosphatidylethanolamine, we have phosphatidylserine, we have phosphatidylcholine, and we have sphingomyelin. Of course, all of these have the fatty chains, fatty acid chains. They have the same kind of the glycerol over, of course, and they have the same phosphate as chain over here. So the only difference is the presence of ethanolamine over here with the phospholipid that changes its orientation and name to phosphatidylethanolamine. Over here, its presence is because of the presence of the serine residue. Of course, that is why it's being called the phosphatidylserine. And of course, over here, because of the presence of the choline, it's being termed as the phosphatidylcholine. And over here, because of the presence of sphingomyelin sheet, it is being termed as sphingomyelin. So talking about the cholesterol in the lipid bilayer, of course, it has a polar head group. It means that this particular is hydrophilic in nature because that particular portion is most likely to be interacting with the hydrophilic molecules, hydrophilic environment, and that is why its head is being taken as the hydrophilic. Now over here, it has a steroid ring structure that plays a very important function in the establishment of drugs and different moieties that are going to target this particular nature. And there are many different kind of enzymes that are being secreted by the bacteria, either gram-positive and mostly gram-negative bacteria, that basically are focusing on this particular ring structure to break it down to get entry into the plasma membrane of the epithelial cells during infection. So of course, it have a non-polar hydrophobic hydrocarbon chain which is being integrated along with the side of the phospholipids that we discussed in the previous section, of course. So talking about the lipid raft and the glycolipids over here. So what do we have over here? We have a lipid raft which is being surrounded by the integral membrane proteins, the transmembrane proteins, and over here, because of its presence, what happens is the thickness of the cell membrane, as you can see over here, increases to a little bit. Now, over here at this particular table that we are looking, we can see the percentage of total lipid by weight in different types of cells. We have over here the liver cells plasma membrane, we have the RBC's plasma membrane, we have myelin mitochondria plasma membrane, and the endoplasmic reticulum, and of course the bacterial. So what happens in this particular case, the inner and outer membrane of the myelin mitochondria, of course it has the highest quantity of the cholesterol over here. Take an example of the phosphatidylethanolamine, very limited quantities present in the liver plasma membrane. And talking about the glycolipids, it's present in a very trace quantity in inner and outer membranes of the mitochondria and in the endoplasmic reticulum, but it's abundant in the presence of the RBC's plasma membrane, and that is because the glycolipids basically are going to serve as a recognition of the Rh factors along with the ABO blood typing as well that we have discussed in the some other portions of the physiology. So in this particular section, we focused on the discussion of the lipid bilayer membrane and moved towards the phospholipid structure, and we discussed what is happening when there is a presence of a lipid raft where there is an accumulation of the carrier proteins, of course, and this was followed by the discussion of the glycolipids. So that was all for this particular section. Thank you for watching sqadia.com. I'll see you in the next section.